Welcome back to Special Educators Resource Room podcast. I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It is a special one-time video episode, and I couldn't be more excited about this. If you're listening like you do every week on audio, thank you. Don't worry. Everything I'm walking through will hopefully still make perfect sense. This week, we officially hit a huge milestone. The TaskBox Club and Independent Work Club has now over 1,000 tasks available inside the membership. 1,000. Now, I know that number can sound very overwhelming because who needs 1,000 tasks? That is hugely overwhelming. No one has time to prep that. But here's the truth. You've heard me say it before, less is more. And this new website is designed to give you choice without being overwhelming. It's not about prepping 1,000 tasks. It's about quickly finding the handful of resources that your students actually need right now. So in this special episode, I'm going to take you on a guided tour of the brand new website. Whether you're a member or not, you're going to be able to follow along. You even can try out the searches that I'm going to demo. The only difference is members are going to see a download button, while non-members are going to see a little join button until they log in. So think of this as your behind-the-scenes audio tour. By the end, you're going to know exactly how to use search to save time, cut down on decision fatigue, and get straight to the resources that are going to help your students achieve their goals. Before we dive into the walkthrough, I want to pause and set the stage. Independent work should feel simple. It should serve your students and not stress you out. And yet, when you hear things like 1,000 tasks, it can feel like one more thing you don't have time for. That's why I wanted to do this video. We've been working behind the scenes for many months, years, and I think we've cracked the code. I want to show you how to find the independent work your students really need. So we're going to be talking about a new search tool that's going to make a huge difference. It's designed to be a shortcut. So instead of digging through your TBT purchases and huge bundles, you're just going to simply type in what you need. And in seconds, you're going to be looking at only the tasks that fit. So I want you to picture this. It's Friday afternoon. You need a math task, a seasonal task, and something for fine motor. And normally you might spend an hour searching. But with this new site that I'm going to show you today, you're going to be done in under 2 minutes. That is the difference. Let's head over to the website. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a search bar. And if you're watching the video, you'll see my cursor move over there. And if you are listening, think of this as an audio tour. I'm going to describe everything so that you can picture it. So this left-hand side has a search bar, and it has an extensive menu with all of these different checkboxes. When you use this menu, you can reduce the amount of results that you're seeing, and that's going to help you find things quickly. Here's what I mean. You can search by only task box, only file folders, or only work binders. For now, I'm going to leave these unchecked because I want to see the results for all three. You can also choose grade level. We have preschool, early elementary, mid-elementary, and upper elementary. We have so many different holidays, seasons, and themes. We also have subjects like literacy and math, SEL and life skills, science, social studies, and early learning. And early learning, I'm going to hit the drop-down menu and read those off. They include fine motor, visual discrimination, following directions, colors, shapes, pre-writing, and even gross motor. And then down at the bottom is something that I think is really important. Some different formats that you can search by, like no clip art for reduced distractions, errorless, real photos, ASL, Spanish, and CVI. So if you use those different menu options, you can reduce the amount of results. We talked about 1,000 tasks. You don't want to see 1,000 tasks. That's 30 pages of tasks. But by using this menu option, you can whittle it down. But for this video, we're going to get really specific. Let's say that your students have a math goal and you've been working on using a visual using 10 frames, and you want to see what's available to support your students' independent practice. So what I'm going to do now is do some searching with 10 frames to show you what's available. Let's start with our first search. I typed in 10 frames and I'm going to hit return. Right now I have 1,000 tasks, but as I see the results, I see that they are reduced. I have 18 task boxes, 5 file folders, and 4 work binders. All right, so I have 27 tasks. That makes it a little bit easier, but I don't need 27 tasks. As I'm looking through this, I see 10 frames counting addition, subtraction. I see errorless. I can further reduce this by using the menu on the left. For right now, I am going to keep all of the clubs, the different formats, and the different grade levels because I really do want to see what's available. But I can further reduce this in the math dropdown because I don't want to think about addition and subtraction right now. I want to focus just on counting. So I'm going to click that, and my results have gone from 1,000 to 27. Now they're down to 22, and I can look through. I have certain students in mind, their specific goals, and I can start matching. Now, I do see some 5 frames that might be perfect for prerequisites, some confidence builders. And then I also see some of the 10 frames without any clip art. So that would be great for reduced distractions. But I also see some that have more on one page, less on one page, and some wonderful graphics. So this is probably where I will land. I could further reduce it just to task boxes if that's all I'm going to be using right now. That's the beauty of search. It doesn't just give me 10 frames, it gives so many different options and approaches. So I can choose 1 or 2 that are going to fit the goals for this week. Before we move on to the next search, I just want to stress this is a public website. You don't have to be a member to use the search and to find the different resources. I used to do that all the time with TPT. Grab your clipboard, your IEP goals, your lesson plans, and type away. See what pops up. On TPT now, the searches are often huge amount of results or just not exactly aligned. Like, I'm not looking for coloring pages at this time. But here, I hope it will help save you time by seeing what's possible, seeing the different tasks that pop up and seeing the different ways you can support your students. Now, if you are a member and you log in, all of the buttons underneath the resources are going to say download. So as you're doing your search, you can just download as you go and start building up your library. For now, the next search is a fun one. I chose autumn. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to click return and see what pops up. Okay, if you are listening, I'm going to read this out to you. I see acorns. I see visual discrimination in hands-on tasks, directed drawing, scissor skills, lacing, sequencing, parts of speech. So many different ones. I see some visual discrimination, sunflower life cycle, pumpkin spice, number words, and picture subtraction, and so much more. Now, I don't need all of these tasks. I like to use seasonal just to add a little sprinkle of novelty. So I'd probably just be choosing maybe 2, maybe 3 of these tasks, but there's so many options to choose from. Seasonal searches can be such a fun way to boost engagement and make connections to the real world, even if you're using just 2 or 3 tasks a week. For now, I'm going to hit the reset button and take us back to the home page, and I'm going to do one more search on video. So for this one, I'm going to do fine motor, and we're going to look at the results. There's going to be a lot. So I'm going to further reduce this to just looking at task boxes. That's still going to give me 38 results. If you're listening, I am looking at scissor skills and tracing and lacing and sorting, every fine motor skill you can imagine. Now, again, the point is not to grab all of these tasks. That would be overwhelming. But maybe you're going to look at this and pull 2 fine motor activities for the week and then rotate them. That way your students can still get practice without feeling like it's the same thing every day, but you are not being overloaded with prep. Let's step back a moment. You have just seen 3 very different searches. We did one academic, which was using 10 frames, one seasonal, autumn, and one focused on life skills, fine motor. And yet the searches all worked the exact same way. You type in what you need, and the right set of tasks is going to be there waiting. That's the big takeaway for this episode. This search feature isn't going to be about giving you more. It's actually about giving you less. Less overwhelm, less decision fatigue, and more clarity about which handful of tasks are going to make the biggest difference for your students. You can think of it like a shortcut. Instead of scrolling through Pinterest or TBT for hours, you can just type in what you need, scan the results, and under 2 minutes, you're done. And for listener only, here's the picture I want you to keep. It is Friday afternoon. You need one math task, one seasonal task, one fine motor activity. With this website, that's 3 quick searches. 5 minutes later, you're finished. And you can actually close your laptop and enjoy your weekend. I have a challenge for you for this week. If you're already a member, log in today and try one of these searches. Don't overthink it. Just pick 2 or 3 tasks and get them ready for next week. And if you're not a member, you can still try these searches right now and you will see the same results instantly. And then when you are ready to hit download, you'll see that little join button waiting for you. I'm going to drop a link in the show notes so that you can check it out. Thank you so much for joining me for this special behind the scenes video tour of the Taskbox Club website. I'm going to be back next week with a regular listening episode. But for now, happy searching and remember, less is more. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm dying to ask, what'd you think? Be sure to hit the follow or subscribe buttons so that you never miss an episode. You can find the show notes and links for everything mentioned in this episode at positivelylearningblog.com. See you next week for more special education solutions.